What's up, everybody? Joe White here, and I am in Beaver. Let me scoot back here. I'm Beaver, Utah tonight. That's right. Home of the Beaver. Might even buy an I Love Beaver bumper sticker to put on my car at the house. Went today and picked up at the Loft House Cookie Factory in Ogden, Utah, and they gave me free cookies. I know it's flipped around for you guys. Free cookies. Not one, not two, but three. And this one, they're all blue. Made in a peanut and tree nut free facility. Let me tell you about the time I'm going to get into the Vince McMahon stuff here in a minute, as well as all the other crap happening in wrestling. Let me tell you about this. So, I get to the factory, check in. I won't begin to tell you about the incompetence of the lady behind the counter. She's old, and I don't know what it is with these places nowadays. You either have the old fart behind the counter who can't barely do their job, or they're so old and fat that they gotta waddle. I mean, I'm no skinny mini myself, but they gotta waddle. It takes them 5 minutes to waddle across the room to grab my bills out of the printer for this load. But that wasn't the case here. That wasn't the case here for this load. This woman was just old and incompetent and got confused. Even 5 minutes after I checked in, she calls me and goes, "Oh, you're a live load." Even though she's already given me the number of the loaded trailer and everything. Turns out I was not a live load. It was a drop and hook. But look, companies out there, it's either the old fart who can't do the job, or the young prick lazy prick who doesn't want to do the job. And there is no in between. People, the young kids out there today, I know I sound like an old man. I'm almost 38 years old. I'll be turning 38 in 4 days. But, you young guys think you could just sit there and do this all day and get paid for it. That's not how work works, guys. And to all you old people out there, just give it up. Go draw your Social Security. But anyway, there's this other truck driver in there. And when I walk in, he's there talking to another gentleman who can't get his pickup number right. And that's another thing. Get your pickup numbers right, guys. All you owner-operators who use brokers, and the brokers are telling you one thing, and the people are telling you another, get your crap right. But there's another guy in there, this big, fat, Samoan-looking guy. I mean, and the only thing he's talking about as he's waiting in turn, because they have a table there when you go in, and they have cases, which hold about 50 of these. Okay? Maybe not 50, at least 20 of these. Okay? He's sitting there complaining because there's no more free cookies for him to take. So they bring out, the nice people there at Loft House, bring out 2 cases. Cases. Not 2 of these. 2 cases. So 40, probably about 40 packs of cookies. 20 in each box. This guy then goes and checks in. This big fat Samoan dude, who's about 3 times the size of me, goes and checks in. The woman behind the counter tells him, go here. Here's your trailer number. Go hook up to it. One of our guys will be out to take the lock off the trailer and replace the lock with your seal. He says, okay. He then proceeds to walk back to where the cookies are and take an entire case of cookies with him out the door. Have some tact. Have some courtesy. They don't have to give us these. They could sell these. They don't have to give us these. You take 2 or 3 cases of them, at the most, and leave the others for other drivers. You don't sit there and lift a whole case of them. Like, his fat ass needed them anyway. I'm not even going to eat these because I don't like them. They taste like cardboard. I'm going to take them home and give them to the kids. So that was my day. Then, I read where Vince McMahon is back. Oh my God. As if it couldn't get any worse today. He's back. He's back. Or at least he's trying to come back. The gist of this is, okay, so let's rewind the clock several years ago. He used to have 2 right-hand men, so to speak. You had Vince McMahon, and then you had George Barrios and Michelle Wilson. And they were on the board of directors with Vince, and they were like his right-hand people. Well, several years ago, he did not like the direction that they wanted to take the company. Remember when the WWE network went to Peacock? Or when WWE, they wanted to do something with the network to kind of keep it the way it is. And he didn't want to do that. This is right around the time they went to Peacock, I believe. He fired them, got rid of them, and replaced them with Nick Khan, who was at the time working for an agency that was helping negotiate WWE's TV deals. He's the one that negotiated. He's the reason why SmackDown's on Fox. So, fast forward. The allegations come out and the lawsuits come out. Vince McMahon exits the company. And let me see if... Is that light any better? If I just keep the ambient light? Alright. Anyway. So, it's McMahon and Nick Khan. And then the allegations come out. And then everything starts... The crap starts rolling down the hill. He leaves, which he now says was bad advice because he thinks the whole thing would have blown over, which I'm kind of inclined to believe it or not. I think if he would have stayed, everybody would have been like, oh, it's wrestling. It's just those wrestling people, because wrestling's looked at no different than Burnham and freaking Bayley were, which is something that needs to change. But I am inclined to believe that aside from like the Dave Meltzers and the people like me on YouTube talking about it, I'm inclined to believe that maybe it would have blown over eventually, because it's wrestling and nobody freaking cares. Okay, it would not. I don't think it would have impacted their TV rights deal because they're best friends with NBC Universal and all them. Fox maybe not so much, but I'm inclined to believe that it would have all, if Vince would have stayed with the company and it would all been water under the bridge, I'm inclined to believe that they're leaving Fox anyway. Fox isn't happy with the ratings. Fox was expecting $3 million a week. They're lucky if they get $2 million. They got a big bump because of Cena, but that's not really going to make a difference when you put it in a pie chart and average it up with the rest. So, here we are today, January 5th, 2023. They got negotiations coming up for TV rights. They're coming up. It's not just, the bidding war of 2024 isn't just for wrestlers. It's, it's for TV rights deals. I believe they're up at the end of this year or next year. I think it's next year. So they're negotiating this year so that there's no drop in rates. So, Vince McMahon about a month ago said, hey, I want to come back. Got bad advice. I think I'm going to come back And the day that the stock is going to fucking drop now. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. It's going to drop. It dropped a month ago by over $1 a share when word got out in the Wall Street Journal that he was thinking about coming back. The board of directors has told him the stock will plummet if you come back. The other shareholders, the other 50-something% or 40-something%, do not want you back. We do not want you back. Your audience does not want you back. But he's 76 years old. He's senile. And if, I could just see him now. Excuse my language, but this is Vince. God damn it, pal. If I can't have it, nobody can. I'm going to, remember the old NWO promo from 2002? I'm going to kill it. I'm going to count my creation. He thinks like that. He actually thinks that way. He's going to sell it. And nobody named McMahon or Levesque is going to hold any office in that company by the time it's all said and done. Because I can guarantee you the provision of one of the provisos of the sale is that nobody named McMahon, nobody associated with the McMahons, Nick Khan, nobody's going to have anything to do with it. Now, they may hire them on afterwards unless there's another proviso that says that they won't. Because that could happen. Hell, there's a lot of strange things that can happen in contracts. I was looking online at a real estate video the other day. Michael Jordan's home just outside of Chicago is up for sale. And one of the provisos of if you buy that house is that none of the furniture that is in that house can be resold. You either have to keep it or throw it away. Strange things, guys. So, McMahon now wants to come back. Now, here's the kicker. He realizes he messed up. He realizes that, Wendy's. Diet Coke. He realizes that he screwed up when he put Nick Khan in power. And that Nick Khan, brilliant power play by Nick Khan so far. I mean, he McMahon pretty much handed the reins over to two people, Stephanie and Nick Khan, along with Triple H. So now, guess who he wants to bring back with him? Here's the real kicker. He now realizes that Nick Khan does not want him back in that company. So he's going to replace two members of the board of directors by bringing back George Barrios and Michelle Wilson. The two people that he crap canned to begin with, he wants them back. Which means he has to replace two members of the board of directors. Gee, I wonder who one of those is going to be. Bye-bye, jolly old Saint Nick, as MJF would say. It's just so stupid. Go away, old man. Just go away. Just don't go away mad, but go away, Nobody wants you. Nobody likes you. Your own goddamn kid don't even want you. Stephanie McMahon resigned just before all this happened because she knew that her dad was being investigated. And yeah, we know they've been separated since like 2001. But poor Linda, man. Unless there is some kind of prenup in place, why doesn't this woman just sue him and for every dime he's got and divorce him? It's not going to hurt her political career. I think the Orange Man, if he gets reelected, will still put you in his cabinet if you divorce Vince. Anyway. So there we have it. And he's holding the company hostage. He's holding the company hostage. How, you may ask? Well, they said, okay, you can come back. But the board of directors says, we don't want you to come back while you're being investigated by the federal government. And you got to have all your affairs and there's the pun, affairs. You got to have all your affairs in order, Vinny. Meaning, you got to pay us back for all the investigations. You got to pay us back for the money that you've spent paying these women off. You got to get your affairs in order. Vince pretty much has said no. And how has Vince said no? By holding the company hostage and him saying that if you do not let me come back in and be part of these rights negotiations and possible sale, because that's another stipulation, is that he wants to sell the company. Or that's another rumor going around, is that he wants to sell the company. So he's saying that if you don't let me in with these negotiations from the start, if you don't let me be the guy to negotiate the TV rights deals and possible sale, none of it will happen. I'll say no to everything you throw at me because I'm the majority shareholder. Now, I'm no Wall Street analyst. Maybe somebody watching is. Is there any way for them to declare him incompetent? Is there any way for them to go, yeah, he's the majority shareholder, but he's wrong. He's off his cracker. The meat, the cheese, the peanut butter, the jelly, whatever have you, has slid right off the cracker. The cracker has hit the floor and shattered. He's off his nut. There's got to be a way to declare this guy incompetent. He's not capable of making smart decisions, even though he owns everything. There's got to be a way to do that. I mean, legally, can't they take this to a judge? There's got to be a way to get this guy to stop him. Because he's going to come in, okay? He's going to come in as CEO. He's going to undo everything that Vince McMahon or that Triple H has done. He's going to undo it all. Regal, Road Dogg, everybody, bye-bye. And if I'm Tony Khan, I'm not going to hire you back. Because guess what? You left because you wanted to go over there. Well, now that Crazy Grandpa's back, you want to come back. We're not going to play the flip-flopping game. No. But we all know Tony Khan's too nice of a guy to do that, so they'll probably be back at AEW. At least William Regal will be. The 24/7 title will be back. Everything will be undone. Everything that Triple H has worked so hard to do the last 4 or 5 months will be completely undone. And I'm calling for all you wrestling journalists out there, stop watching the product. Just don't cover it. And maybe if you don't cover it and you stop watching it, they'll lose about another 500,000 viewers. And maybe it'll die that way. I don't know. Mercedes Moné. Let's get on to Mercedes Moné. I felt like that debut, they said it was the worst kept secret. She comes out wearing a Statue of Liberty crown around her head, and she looked way too skinny. You couldn't hit her with a handful of corn, as the old hillbillies would say. She just looked awful. I did not like the hair. Pick a color, you know. I kind of get where she's going. The blue was fading into the red because she used to have blue hair in WWE. I remember when she first came back after an injury, she changed her hair to blue. Now that she's coming back, she's changing it to red, but the blue is still there, kind of. She botched a move. Here's one thing that annoyed me about it. She comes out. It's meant to be a surprise. So they turn the lights off. She comes out. And what happens? The ring announcers tell you who she is. The ring announcers announce her. Why did they announce her? Why do they announce her? Why did they have to go, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mercedes Moné? And then in the promo, she goes, let me introduce myself. You've already been introduced. And then she botches that gory bomb into a DDT. For me, it went over like, and the crowd barely even cheered for her. It went over like a fart in church. And I think Tony Khan saw that, and smartly, I can't believe I'm maybe contributing something to Tony Khan here, maybe putting him over. He maybe saw how flat her debut was, and decided to pull a 180. And that's why we're getting Toni Storm. So, I don't know. I just... lead balloon time. That's all I can say. I like her work in The Mandalorian. I've liked her work. You know, there are a lot of other women in WWE during that time that were better than her. She's a good presence. She has the attitude. She can work when she wants to. But I never thought that she was like as great and as magnificent as everybody ever made her out to be. I never, you know. Bianca Belair is better than she is. I've said it. I said it. There it is. Kenny Omega versus Will Osprey at the Tokyo Dome. Loved it. I can't believe, yeah, I know, the guy who's always been against the Omega and the Bucks. Here's the thing, and I've said this before. I like serious Kenny Omega. When it's just him and Don Callis and he's away from those young idiots, the young cucks, if you will, the Bucks of Suck, as Matt Hardy used to call them. When he is away from them and it's just him and Don Callis, it's great. Now, I will say there was a little bit of the Olivier stuff with the bulging eyes and the shaking of the ropes and the pointing and all that was there. I've grown to realize that that's Omega. You're going to get Omega. You're going to get Olivier. But the match itself, I cannot believe I'm saying this. 5, 6, 7 stars. A Kenny Omega match had psychology for once. A Kenny Omega match had top-notch storytelling for once. A Kenny Omega match, every move made sense, even the table stuff and the gaga. It all made sense and it all came together. The storyline of this match was Will Ospreay is looking to become the Gaijin face of New Japan. He wants that spot that Kenny Omega had when he left, and Kenny Omega has returned to say no, 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 no. I was surprised to see that Kenny Omega won the belt. Then I was surprised to hear on Dynamite that they made no mention of it whatsoever. What else? That's pretty much it. I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I went back and watched the Kenny Omega Osprey match 3 times. That's how much I loved it. Love that match. 5, 7 stars. Probably going to be my pick for match of the year unless something comes back from that, you know. I don't think nothing could touch it, though. It was really, really good. And I can't believe I'm saying it because I've been a Kenny Omega hater for a long time. Except for, like I said, if he can ever get himself away from the Young Bucks and disenfranchise himself from that, he would be, top notch. But I can't stand the Young Bucks and his continued association with them and the way he acts with them and the whole being the elite, too sweet and all that. No. I'll never be a fan of that. But I was a fan of him at the Tokyo Dome this year. Gotta get off here, folks. Anyway, if you see a trucker on the road, give us plenty of room. Go the speed limit. Do not tailgate us. Give us plenty of room out here. Let us over if we need to get over. If you can't see our mirrors, we can't see you, and we'll see you down the road.